Well, I have to admit, it doesn't just rain, it pours. But this is good pouring. Another Power Wagon. This one's 66, so really late. Considering these trucks were designed at the end of the Second World War, this is and they made them until 66 and later. That's pretty cool. But understandable, because look at, I mean, it's just a piece of construction equipment is what it is, but one of my absolute favorites, that's for sure. Now this one's in, it's not quite stock. It's a different approach to the same issue as we're doing with the other Power Wagon we've got in. This one's got a Cummins diesel in it, which is a job we've done before, but it's basically on the stock chassis and everything, and that sounds, I think, oh yeah, it's stock chassis. Yeah, and that is an easier way to do it. The trouble is you put a modern engine into this, and you're not really improving a lot of the handling and drivability of the truck. It doesn't really modernize it that much. It just gives it a more powerful motor. You're going to get a few miles per hour out of it more, but it's still not going to be happy doing highway speeds or even like a normal cruising speed on a country road. The one that we did, we basically took the body and everything, completely redesigned the chassis and driveline and mounted it on top. This is the less expensive way of doing something that's very expensive, no matter which way you do it. Now I think this one is in for us to get the steering set up and turning it into a running, driving truck, and I think the owner then will decide what he's going to do, whether he's going to finish the work himself or whether we're going to finish the work. But it's a great project to have in. I mean, I just love doing this stuff, you know, military stuff and these kind of trucks are what I cut my teeth on and what I still really enjoy. A lot of cars come in and I don't really spend too much time coming back to look at them, but boy, I came back to look at this as soon as I heard it was here. Nice old truck. When it came in, it sort of looked familiar to me. And then I realized we were the ones who did this install for a client, well, a long time ago, probably got to be 10 years or better. So we did this Cummins diesel install on it, and then the client was taking it back and he was going to finish it up, and I guess he never got around to finishing it up. He sold it on to somebody else, and that gentleman has brought it in here for us to keep going on. So that's sort of fun. We get to launch off. And honestly, I would have thought that it would have been done by now, but that happens. A lot of people just never get the time to finish off a project that they get going on. And then a project that we may have started for somebody goes away for a few years and then comes back, as this one has, and we get to keep on going. I can see they've done some modification in the interior, which is something that we're in the middle of with the other one. Now, actually, this is less extensive than we're doing. He's not using some of the original patch. They've made some new panels and everything. A nice hump here. Hopefully they'll relocate the foot pedal, because for some reason when Dodge built these originally, they put a little platform here and put the accelerator atop it. They're really awkward to drive. Fine in the short term if you're using it like a piece of construction equipment, but you know, for daily driving, and I had one I daily drove. It was a earlier one than this. It was just a very uncomfortable thing to spend much time in. But then again, they weren't used for cruising. They were used for moving things around in the bush and mining companies and farms and, you know, people who needed a rugged piece of literally construction equipment. I mean, these trucks were so heavy duty, and then people make them even more heavy duty, you know, which tickles me because they just pile on tons of iron on the front and the back of these things. And you know, the funny thing is they can take it. Doesn't matter really how much weight you put on these, you're not really going to exceed its abilities because they're so highly sprung. They were so heavy anyway. You can see that he's got her here for pulling some pretty heavy equipment. This is a military style pintle hook. I am not sure what they could pull off center like that, but it'd be handy for getting it out of the mud, that's for sure. All in all, by the looks of it, this one's going to be a lot of fun. We're just getting the other Power Wagon project sort of finished up. The light is definitely at the end of the tunnel on that project now, and it'll be one I'll be keeping an eye on as well because, you know, I really enjoy this kind of thing.